Okay, so let's start. So to express this in partial fractions, first thing we have to see whether the power on top is smaller than the power below. So the power of the top, the degree is actually degree 1. The degree of the denominator is 3. So yeah, the power is lower. So this is already a proper fraction. So we don't need to do long division. Okay, so we can straight away start our partial fraction by writing down the identity. But before that, you should always factorize the denominator. So this one can take out x squared. This become x plus 2. Okay, so x squared will produce this and this. Okay, then x plus 2 will produce this. Okay, so this is the identity of the partial fraction. So next, what we need to do, we need to make them the same denominator. Normally, you will skip this step, but because for everybody, got people who understand, people who don't understand well, so I write this down. So the first thing, this will have to multiply by x and x plus 2. The b will multiply by x plus 2. And the c will multiply by x squared. Okay, once the denominator is the same, then we compare the numerator. We say that the numerator equals to the numerator. Okay, now then our objective is to find a, b, c. So we so when x equals to 0, this will allow us to find our b. Okay, after that, when x is negative 2, so minus 1 equals to 4c. Wow, the answer why so funny, huh? Then when x is, we can choose any other number lah. So I choose when x is 1, easier for us. It will be a times 1 times 3. So what do we have? 3a equals to negative 28. 3 3/4. Is it? Yeah. So a equals to 1/4. Okay, so after this is done, we will conclude. Therefore, 1 over 4x minus 5 over 2x squared plus minus 1 over 4 x plus 2. Okay. If I do wrongly, please let me know. Thank you. Okay, number looks weird. And next, show that this is equals to that. So we start from the left hand side. Okay, first thing first, when you have figure, what's the first thing you see? You see the angle. Your one is 2x. Here also 2x. So don't need to change. Okay? If the angle is different, first thing change the angle. So this angle don't need to change. Next, we take a look at this is only one single term. There are two terms on the left hand side. So we definitely need to combine them into one term. So how to combine into one term? Common denominator. Add fraction together. So you must also know your identity lah. Even though it's given, you don't remember them, you will not come across u. Okay, then we expand the denominator. This is just 1 minus sine square 2x. And 1 minus sine square 2x is just cos square 2x. And then cos is just secant square x. Okay, this is considered a pretty easy one. Okay, next, hence find this. So we know that this is just equal to integrate 2 secant square 2x. And how do we integrate secant square? Integrate secant square is just tangent theta. Okay, we need to divide by 2 because the angle is 2x. So finally you simplify, you get this. Okay, next. Given that u is this, express this as an equation in u, and explain why there's no solution. No real solution means no answer for x. Okay, so when they say they want to sum this, we have to make 3 power x appear. So 9 is actually 3 power 2x. And this is just 3 power x squared. Then now we do the substitution, this becomes 9u squared. Okay, so now we want to solve this. There's 2 ways. One is to factorize, one is to use quadratic formula. Cannot factorize, so we use quadratic formula. You can also complete the square. So quadratic formula minus b 64 minus 108. Okay, so you can see that inside the square root is negative. So we conclude saying therefore no solution for u. So no solution for u, then so also no solution for x. Sometimes you can still find u, but you cannot find x. For example, when your u is negative 5, then if 3 power x equals to negative 5, no solution for x, because 3 to the power anything cannot be negative. So it doesn't mean that you can find u means you have solution for x. In this case, you don't even have solution for x. So that's why there's no solution for x. 3b, show the solution of this is equal to this. So what you need to know here is you must know a power x is actually the square of a to the power x over 2. So instead of writing x, I can write a to the power x over 2 square. Then what do? I let a power x over 2 become y. Then you can see I actually have y squared equals to 2y plus 15. Uh, this one can be factorized. So we factorize. Okay, then now we change back a power x over 2 equals to 5. Okay, so we now reverse our log. We can log base a both sides. I log base a here. I log base a to this side. Okay, this one got no solution. Okay, no solution. Why? Because a to the power anything cannot be negative. So after that, this one, you can bring the x over 2 down. Log AA is actually 1. So x is just equals to 2 times of this. Okay, then after that, the 2 just bring up. It become 5 square. So it become 25. By considering the expansion, by considering the general term of this, explain why there is no solution. So we can find the general term from where? We can actually find the general term from the front page. Actually, the front page formula sheet got give you the general term. So let's take a look at what the general term is and where can you see it from. This is actually your general term. Okay. So let's take a look. How do we use this? So the general term will be 10r x power 10 minus r. Okay, when we use the general term, what do we want to do is we want to separate all the terms. That means all the x we put one side, then all the unknown we put the other side. Okay, all the constant we put another side. We want to do that. So using your law of indices, we will separate this as this just x power 10 minus r. This one will change to minus 1 r 1 over x power r. Okay, now we group the x together. We put the number in front. Then it will be x 10 minus 2r. So the question now is asking explain why there is no odd power. So we have to see what is the power of x. Then we can explain why is there no odd power. Okay, so what is the power of x that we have? Our power of x is 10 minus 2r. So we say the power of x in all the term is in the form 10 minus 2r, which is equals to 2 bracket 5 minus r. Okay, then after that what? Since r is a whole number, then we know 2 bracket 5 minus r must be even. So there is no odd power of x. Okay, because the power is 10 minus 2r, then you take out 2, you will realize, you will know that actually 10 minus 2r is always an even number. Okay, next, using the general term or otherwise, determine the coefficient of x5 in the expansion. So we need to expand this. So this is this. So the purpose of a general term is that it can straight away jump to the term you want. So now when I expand this, I want x power 5, then I must know what power I need. So what power times this will give me x power 5, x power 5. What power times this, x power 4. What power times this, x power 3. So we know we need the x power 5, x power 4, x power 3 from this expansion. Okay? So from this question, we know from the previous part that there is no odd power. So x power 5 does not exist, x power 3 does not exist. We only need to find the x power 4 in this complicated expression. So how do we find the x power 4 in this thing? We use the general term. We know that this is the general term. Okay, so the general term is this. So in the whole thing, you can see that only this one will actually affect the power of x. This is just the coefficient. So when we want to find x power 4, I just let this be equals to x power 4. So you know that when r is equals to 3, that is when we have x power 4. So what is the coefficient of x power 4? We just put 3 into the general term, 10, 3, and then minus half to the power of 3. Okay, what do we have? We have 120 over 8. We have minus 15. So we know that today this will become this. In this whole expression, I will have minus 15x power 4. The rest of the thing do I need? I don't need. Why? Because the rest of the expanded term will not give me x power 5. Okay, so only this time this will give me x power 5. Okay, so now when I expand, I just say this is equal to negative 60 x power 5. The rest, just put as dot dot dot. I don't need to explain. And conclude, therefore, coefficient of x power 5 is negative 60. Then you think from there. Okay, so when do you normally use general term? When do you normally expand? This is just a bit of a clue lah. So when both term have x, normally we use general term. If one term is a number, the other term is x, we will just expand. Okay? These are just some little things that will make life a bit easier for yourself. Okay, let's move on. Plane geometry. I think I will skip because most of you haven't done this yet. It's one of the more difficult chapter. Okay, next. Question 6, linear law. Yeah, I will try my best to do it here. Okay, explain how a straight line can be drawn. You must know that linear law, the idea is to change into y equals mx plus c. Okay, the y and x can contain log, ln, any letter also can. Just don't put numbers inside there. Okay, so let's take a look how to draw a straight line. So when we see that there is power, definitely we need to use logarithm. So see what they do lah. They already got you already. So they want log. Huh? So what we do, we log both sides. So this just now what I'm thinking is should I use ln or should I use log? Okay, that's the difference. Actually there's no difference in the end. But then to make life easier for yourself, since they use log here, then we use log, it will be easier for us. Okay, so log P what happen next? We will break the thing up. It become log A plus log B to the power of t plus 1. Now the t plus 1 bring down. Then we expand. So over here, you can see now that we have already established this is our y, this is our x, this is our m, and this whole thing is our c. Okay, so they explain how a straight line can be drawn. So we say, draw let the axis be log p against t. Yeah, just like that. Let the axis be, or you say draw the graph on the axis log p against t. Then the gradient is log b, and the vertical intercept is log a plus log b. Okay, on the grid on the next page, plot log p against t. So if I want to draw log p against t, I need to find my log p value first. How many decimal place I put? Normally I put more because I don't know what is the scale of my graph. Okay, and normally you see if the number here is not very nice, you can see it's quite random kind of number. Then this is also an indication to tell you that when you plot later, it will join perfectly one. Otherwise, they won't come out with all these funny number. So they come out with these numbers, right? So that the idea is when you connect them later on, right, they will form a very nice line. So these are again some like exam strategy for you to think of. Okay, so now let's plot the graph. Wow, it's empty. Okay. We need to use more than half the grid. Oh shit. Okay, so this is our t. Then this is our log p. Then this shall be 2. This should be 0, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, the vertical axis you need to be careful. You don't have to draw, you don't have to start from origin, okay? Because sometimes you start from origin, it won't give you a nice number. So I would start with like maybe 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. I think this is good enough. Why do I choose 0.5 instead of 1? Because I'm anticipating y-intercept. I prefer to have a y-intercept, it's easier. And how do I know what's the y-intercept? So how do I know? You can see this to this is like add a 0.3. This to this is like add another 0.3. This to this is again like add another 0.3. So I suspect the y-intercept, right, to be around 0.7 something. Okay, that's why I start from 0.5. If you start more than that, then later on the y-intercept is not on the graph, then it's a bit more difficult when you try to find your unknown. Okay, So let's plot this now. 2 is 1.079. This is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So I want 1.08. So it's around here. 1.382. So it's about 1.4, 1.32343. 325, 35375, 38 is here. 1.6 is here. 1.7 is here. 1.67 around here. 1.98. This is 1.9. 1.98 should be around here. And 2.28, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Okay. So now take out your ruler. Okay, so that is the graph. I hope you have done it already, because if you're not done it, you will not be able to catch up with how I did. Okay, use your graph to estimate the virus at the start of the monitoring. So at the start means t is 0. So we look at this point at the start. Based on what we have, this value here is 0 0.6, 0 0.7, 0 0.8. So I would say this value is about 0 0.775. Okay, and this value is actually our log p, it's not our p. So at the start, we know that log p is actually equal to 0 0.775. So now p is just equal to 10 to the power 0 0.775. That will give us 5.956, approximately 5.96. What is it? So the amount of bacteria is 5.96 thousand. Okay. Use your graph to estimate the time taken when the amount of virus has increased to 500% of the start. So, 100% is our 5.9566. So 500% times 5. Okay, so this is what we want to monitor. So in order to use your graph, this is our P. To use the graph, we need to find what is log 29.7831. I get 1.47397. So what we do, we need to read 1.4739 from the graph. So when is 1.4739? It's near 1.5. So it's around here. So what do we get? This value here is 4.6. So when t equals to 4.6. Okay, next. Solve this equation. So to solve an equation, trigo equation, first thing first, make sure the angle is the same, theta theta. Second thing that you need to take note is to make sure that there is as little trigo function as possible. You can see there's cotangent square, there's cosecant square. So there's two different trigo function. So we don't like that to happen. Why? Because in the end, we want to achieve one is like sine theta equals to a number, or cosine theta equals to a number, or tangent theta equals to a number. That's where we can start pressing our calculator. So if you have too many different one, there's nothing we can do. So this is where you need to really know your trigo identity. You must know whether cotangent square can change to cosecant or cosecant can change to cotangent. Okay, so what we have and what we know is cotangent square can change to cosecant square, but cosecant cannot change to cotangent. Okay, so we first have to change the cotangent to cosecant square. So everything is in cosecant. Okay, so cotangent square half theta, you go and look at your formula sheet. You will know that cotangent square is just equals to cosecant square half theta minus 1. Now we multiply the 2 inside. Okay, for those who cannot see what is going on already, you can say I let u be equals to cosecant theta. And this is just cosecant half theta. So this is just 2u square minus 2 equals to 1 minus u. You can now see that this is actually a quadratic equation. Okay, of course we have to change it back. And then we have to change back to sine. So if cosecant half theta is equals to half, then our sine half theta is equals to 2. You like flip it around. This one will tell me sine half theta is still equals to minus 1. Okay, so sine half theta equals to 2. There's no solution. Why? Because sine is a number that sine any angle, it must be between 1 and negative 1. Okay, you cannot exceed that because the opposite side cannot be longer than the hypotenuse. Okay, when we reach here, what do? We need to settle our quadrants and everything. So we need to read the question. The question want theta to be between 0 and 720. So we need to work something out. Now I have half theta. So if theta is between 0 to 720, then my half theta will be between 0 to 360 degree. So basic angle, sine inverse positive 1, you get pi, you get 90 degree. Which quadrant is it in? Because this number here is a negative, so half theta is in third and fourth quadrant. Okay, so third quadrant, how to find third quadrant is actually pi plus, 180 plus 90. Or it also be 360 minus 90. Okay, both of them give me 270. Okay, so theta is just equals to times 2, 540 degree. Okay, next. Solve the log. So to solve logarithm, most importantly, the base must be the same. This is square root 3, this is base 3. So this is the change of base law that we are going to apply. So we change the base to base 3, so this will become 3x. Alright, and then log 3 square root 3 is just half because square root 3 is 3 power half. Okay, now we times the half over. I prefer not to work with half, so I times 2 throughout. Then what do? We bring all the log to one side. Then we combine them together. Okay, then we use the most important log formula to get rid of your log. This become 3 power 2. Then you can see now it's just a quadratic equation. So we have x equals to 12 or x equals to minus 3. Okay, do check. When we put it back, remember you cannot log a negative number. So we have to reject x is negative 3. Okay, B part 1. Whenever you have this kind of question, right, you will not be able to find x. Don't try to log, then find x, then put the x in. That's not how this kind of question works. Okay, this kind of question is you start with this question, you break the power up. 16 is 2 to the power of 4, then this is 3 power x, 3 power negative 1. What do you do next? You put all the power with x to one side. So these are the power with x. These are the term with x as power. These are the number. So what we do, we throw all the power with x to one side. So 2 power 3 put here. Then this 3 power x bring over, it will divide. Okay, the 2 power 4 stay here. The 3 power negative 1 stay here. When I divide, I get this. Okay, then now what happened? This right hand side, you just press your calculator. You will get 4 over 3. Okay, 2 to the power of 3x is actually 8 power x. So from here, we will straight away get this already, lor. Okay, so that's the idea. You put all the power with x to one side, then all the term with number to the other side. That's how we solve this kind of question. Hence, solve this. So how do we solve that? So this thing will become this. Then to solve that, what do? We have to use our logarithm. We log both sides. Okay, then power bring down. To find x, we just divide. So it's just this divide by this. Okay, press your calculator. You get 0.293. Okay, any questions so far? I hope you have already done this before that. Okay, next. The gradient function is this, determine y is increasing or decreasing. How to determine y is increasing or decreasing? Increasing means the dy dx is more than 0. Decreasing means the dy dx is less than 0. So now what we need to do, we need to determine whether this is always increasing or always decreasing. So dy dx. So the only way to do that is what? Not the only way lah. The best way to do it is to complete the square. So take out the negative first. Complete this, we have what? X minus 3 square minus 3 square plus 14. Okay, so now we explain since we know x minus 3 square is definitely more than or equals to 0 for all values of x. No matter what x we put inside, it is definitely more than equal to 0. So now when we do a negative, we know that it's always lesser or equal to 0. Now we minus 5 on both sides, then we will know that it must be lesser than 0. So dy dx is lesser than 0. So y is a decreasing function. Okay, next part, find the range of x such that gradient function is increasing. So they're telling me gradient is increasing. When gradient is increasing means what? Means the d2y dx square is more than 0. Okay, y increasing means dy dx more than 0. dy dx is increasing means d2y dx square is more than 0. So from the above, you know that dy dx is this. So when dy over dx is increasing, we will have minus 2x plus 6 more than 0. Bring the 2x over, so x must be lesser than 3. Okay, find the equation of curve that passes through this point. So when we want to find the equation of curve is y equals to something. So to get y equals to something, we have to integrate. Remember, we need to have a plus c. And we need to find the plus c. How do we find? When x is 1. So therefore, the equation is this. Wrong. Okay, next. The equation is this, show that dy dx is this. So we have to apply our quotient rule to differentiate that. So dy dx is equals to differentiate the top, copy down the denominator, minus copy down the top, differentiate the denominator, power bring down, power minus 1, differentiate inside over the square. Okay, then after that, simplify a bit first. Next, we factorize the smaller power from the top. Bring this down, we have 2x minus 1 to the power of 3 over 2. And this will give us 4x. Why never get what they want? Hmm? Why never get? Because this is minus 1. Okay, therefore it's minus. Okay, hence evaluate this. So there is only one way to do this. And what is the one way? You always start from the integration part. You always start from the previous part. So when we differentiate that, we get that one. So the opposite will be when I integrate, I will get back the original thing over there. So I don't start from what the question have, I start from what I have over here. It will be 4x plus 1. Okay, then what do we do next? We separate. Then we bring it over. We bring over, it become plus. This is actually 5 to the power of 2x minus 1 to the power of negative 3 over 2. So when we integrate this, power increase by 1, divide by the new power, divide by the differentiation of the inside. Okay, and this will give me this. Okay, so but this is not what the question is asking. The question is asking with the 5 1. So now if I find the 5 1, If you want to put the 5 1 in from the start, is fine also, okay? But I see that most of it, some of you can actually do like that better. So now if I put the 5 1 in, it's just putting the 5 1 into this. So if I put 5, it'll be 16 over square root 9 minus 0. So it's 16. Okay, so if you want to put the 5 1 in from the start, it's fine. Then this c will disappear. But then there will be this 5 1 here already. Okay, depends on what you want to do. You can do the integration first, then later do the 5 1 in at the last part. Or you can put the 5 1 in, then later you can do your integration and put the 5 1. You need to know which r will give you x power 4. Okay, next question 11. A solid cylinder of radius r and height h, where h is between 0 to 18, is removed from a solid cone. Is being removed, huh? So show that the volume of the cylinder is this. For me, whenever I encounter a question like that, I would first say, what is my volume of cylinder? Volume of cylinder formula, pi r square h. Okay, the next thing I will do is I will compare these two and see what is the difference. Difference in terms of what? Difference, the first thing you should see is the letters. So you can see there's R and H here, but here there's only H. What does this mean? This means I need to form another equation that can change my R into H. Okay, and when you have a cone, normally we will use similar triangle. This is the similar triangle that we have. Okay, so this triangle is similar to this triangle. So when we have this similar triangle, we know that the small radius over the big radius equals to the small height triangle over the big height cone. Okay, so the small radius is r, the big radius is 6. What is the small height? Is the small height 8 or not? Is the small height h or not? No, the small height is not h. This part is the small height. So the small height is actually what? 18 minus h, and the big height is actually 18. Okay, so once we have that, r is actually equals to, we multiply the 6 over, is actually 18 minus h over 3. So now what do? We put this inside our v. So we have 18 minus h over 3 square times h. Now you expand, you get pi. This is just 18 minus h whole thing square over 9 times h, which is equals to 1 over 9 pi h bracket 18 minus h squared. Okay, so that is how you think. Always write down what they want you to find. Then you see the difference in the letters, the variables, then try to just form another equation and change it. Okay, next part. Given that h varies, find the stationary value of v. So we need know that v is actually 1 over 9 pi h bracket 18 minus h bracket square. Do I encourage you to differentiate directly? Actually I don't. I would recommend you expand, okay? So 18 square is 324. You expand, you will get 36 pi h minus 4 pi h square plus 1 over 9 pi h cube. Then now you find your dVdh. So stationary value is when dVdh equals to 0. Times 3 to everything first. Then divided by pi. Okay, then now we try to solve this. Okay, h equals to 18 is rejected because 18 is the height of the entire cone. If the cylinder is 18, which is not possible, so we reject. So the height of the cylinder is 6. The question asks you find the stationary value of V, so we need to find our V. So we sub the 6 inside, so 1/3 pi 6, 18 minus 6 squared. So 144 times 6 divided by 9. So 96 pi. You can leave your answer 96 pi, or you can just take and then write as 302. Okay, now determine whether this value of V is maximum or minimum. So this is good because just now we have already expanded it. If just now you never expand it, then to solve this part again, to differentiate again is more challenging. So that's the reason why I will recommend you go and expand first. So when I differentiate this become negative 84 pi plus 1/3 pi h. So we sub when h is 6, d2v over dh square is equals to negative 82 pi, which is less than 0. So therefore, v is maximum at h equals to 6. Taylor Swift is planning a concert, so this is the stage. Show that the area is given by this. So normally when we need to add lines to our R formula questions, we always only add vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, we seldom add other funny lines that are of different direction. Okay, so this is one thing that you take note of lah, so that it really let you think, don't need to think so hard when you try to add lines into the diagram. Okay, so and again when you add lines, what you're trying to do is you try to form right angle triangles. At the same time you don't touch the angle, okay, because the angle should remain as theta because that's what we want. So if I were to add lines, I would add like that and like that. Okay, and this is a vertical line. So all this will make it a lot easier for you. Okay, then now what do? We need to go and check our angle. So if this is theta, this is 90 minus theta. Then this will be theta. This is also 90. Okay, so now we want to find the area. We label this as x, this as y. So let's find the angle. Find what first? Find the area. I need half time base times height and all this. So I find what first? I find py first. So sine theta equals to py over 80. So py equals to 80 sine theta. Next, I find ys. Cosine theta equal to ys over 80. So ys is equals to 80 cos theta. Now I need to find my QR and my RY. So I use the next triangle. I know that sine theta equals to QX over 40. So QX equals to 40 sine theta. And I find my PX. Cosine theta equals to PX over 40. So PX equals to 40 cosine theta. Okay, so now what do? I find the area. I use this triangle plus the trapezium. Okay, if you want to break the trapezium into triangle and rectangle, please go ahead. So A triangle is what? Half times ys, y is ys, times py. Trapezium, half times sum of parallel side. One side is py. What's the other side? The other side is qr. Qr is what? Py minus px. Then what's the height? The height is ry. Ry is what? Yeah, I haven't find ry, man. Ry is qx. So this is the area. Okay. So this part will be 3200 sine theta cos theta. This part will be 20 sine theta. And this part simplify first. 160 sine theta minus 40 cos theta. Okay, expand. This one I can use double angle formula. I change to this first. Then this one will be 3200 sine theta sine square theta minus 80 sine theta cos theta. No, this one 40 is 800. Area. Why like that one? Okay, never mind. So then this will give me 400 sine 2 theta. Okay, so now you may face problem changing the sine square theta to what they want. We already have this already. Nice. Okay, so now we need to change. So in order to change sine square theta to cos 2 theta, we need to apply your double angle formula. Double angle formula says this. So you can see 2 sine square theta is equals to 1 minus cos 2 theta. And if I say I want 3200 sine square theta, means I time 1600. 1600 minus 1600 cos 2 theta. Okay, so you write this blue color one down at the working at the side lah. It's part of your working. Then you can see this will transform into, okay, this will transform into this. So that's how you get what they want, no? Okay, so this step is essential. Please write this step out to show how you change 3200 sine square theta to that. Okay, part B. So express A in this form. So our A is equals to. Okay, so you see the sine come first, so you write your sine first. If cos come first, if they want the R formula in terms of cos, then you write the cos first. So when you compare these two, right, you can actually see that the 1600 is actually the K here. So now when we do R formula, we only do to this part only. We don't include the K. So when we do R formula, you know that your R is actually equals to what? Your R is actually equals to square root of 1200 square plus 1600 square. It will be 2000. Then how to find the alpha? Alpha is equals to tangent inverse B over 8. 53.1301 degree. So therefore, A is equals to 2000 sine 2 theta minus 53.1 degree plus 1600. Okay, the answer is remember to change to 1 dp because it's a final answer after all. Okay, next. Taylor Swift wish to maximize the stage shader to create an immersive experience. Find the maximum possible value of A and the corresponding theta. So, uh, we must know that the maximum possible area is what is all restricted by your this. Why? Because this value is always between 1 and minus 1. So maximum A will be equal to just 2000 plus 1600, which is 3600 meter squared. And the corresponding value of theta. So when will this be, when this one becomes 1? So when this is when our this, now we do not use 53.1, now we use the more decimal place. So sine what is equals to 1? Sine 90 is equals to 1, so that we know this thing must be equals to 90 degree. Okay, then we just solve lor. So 2 theta equals to 143.1301 degree. So theta equals to 71.565. We round it off to 1 decimal place, 70.6 degree.